I know I have not been on here today, but if I tell you the behind the scenes over here has been amazing. I don't have time to speak to everybody one by one because I have like 5 minutes to get this shout out to the Book of the Month, to the Cash Crew, to remind you guys that in 5 minutes, the Book of the Month Club, we're having our first Book of the Month Club call. My clients, my coaching clients, my mentees, the Cash Crew, come through, guys, because in 5 minutes, we're about to start this Book of the Month Club call. You guys need to be there. Hey, Laura, you guys need to be there because it's nothing short of amazing what reading does for your life. If you're not already reading books, if you don't already read, let me tell you, reading is the thing that shifts your life. Okay, Takesha, it's going to be great. That shifts your potential because it lets you know what you're capable of. Reading is one of those things where you can look at Abraham Lincoln, who, although he ended up being president, he was, he started out living in a log cabin and reading by candlelight, right? Reading is one of those things that lets you know that although Harriet Tubman was beaten so badly that she had seizures, she still was determined enough to lead her people to freedom. Reading is one of those things that lets you know that you ain't got it near as bad as other people. Reading is one of those things that makes you get out of that woe is me. Absolutely. It expands your mind. It lets you know what you're truly capable of. So if you're not already reading, I'm going to challenge you to read a minimum of a book a month. In the Book of the Month Club, the challenge is to read 2 books a month, but we give you 4. We give you 4 because if you read 4 books, if you read a book a week for a year, I promise you, you'll double your earnings. I promise you, you'll double your earnings. I make so much money, and I really feel like that the fact that I have read so many books is a key contributing factor to why I generate so much revenue. And it really is a choice. Watch television or read. A lot of people say they do audibles. I read the actual books. But if you want something that's going to change your mind, change your life, I suggest you read these books. Now, in the Book of the Month Club, we're going to be discussing these books today. So for those of you who are in the Book of the Month Club, or on the Cash Crew, and in my coaching clients, come to the class anyway. Even if you didn't read the book, just being around the knowledge makes a difference. So we have 4 books we're reading this month. And I typically don't give out my book list because it takes me hundreds and hundreds of books to get the right books. So I say if you're not in the Cash Crew, figure it out your own. But you ask, I'll tell you. So we're reading The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. We're reading Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. We're reading Shots Fired, How to Write Copy That Pierces Hearts and Opens Wallet. That's our business book of the month. And then we're reading The 4 Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. One of my favorites, Shots Fired. Dave wrote the foreword, one of my clients, and one of my, all of them are really, really great. One of my business besties wrote the book. And if you're struggling with finding out who your target is, if you're struggling with how to talk to your target on social media and other places, then it's an amazing book. So we're about to talk about that. The Book of the Month Club call starts now. If you're in the Cash Crew, hey, Johnny May, I was just reminding you guys to jump over into the private Zoom. And one of the reasons I love the private group is I don't have to fight with trolls. Can the church say amen? I'm so sick of fighting with trolls. I don't know what to do. Thank you, Latoya. I've been missing you, sis. Ooh, Lord. Can the church say amen? I ain't got to worry about being called bald. And then, and you know, that's number one. And then number two, there is just a certain level. Lottie Dottie, you should be able to, but we'll post it in the group. Hey, Darius, we'll post it in the group to make sure you have it. But there's just a certain level of knowledge. Your mama needs a wig. She need one bad. And she said as soon as you get her one, she'll let you come in off the corner. There is a... I beat you to it, Darius. I beat you to it. I beat you to it. I beat you to it. And, you know, there's another thing, too. The second piece of that is that sometimes as business owners, we have to realize that there's a certain level of access that you're not going to receive unless you're in the room. Sometimes you got to pay to be around that next level knowledge. And to me, $39, girl, Coach, stay focused. I could fight with them trolls, call all y'all by name, and still drop more knowledge in one broadcast than most folks drop in a year. Hello? Coach, stay focused. But there's a certain level of knowledge that you're not going to be around unless you pay to get in the room. I was telling you guys about that group that charges $30,000 a year for membership. Do you know what kind of knowledge they probably dropping in that room? So sometimes you got to pay to play. You got to invest in your next level. The Cash Crew is like $39 a month, but it's for stuff that I'm just not going to tell people out here on Periscope, random people with no loyalty to the group or no loyalty to the team. And that's just my point of view. I feel like even these books, if you look at my bookcase, hold on, let me show y'all. Ooh, Darius, I can't wait to show you my new Hennessy collection. It's grown like crazy. But if you look at all those books, and that's just two of my bookcases, and on average, I spend $20, $25 a book. That's more than 300 books on that bookcase. So if I'm spending $25 a book, $100, $250, it's $750 worth of books on that bookcase, minimum. And some of those books I paid $50, $60 for. Some of the signed copies I paid even more. So I said it to say, I read all those books to call out what's good, what's worth reading, what's worth your time. You don't have to read all those books. But at some point, you got to say to yourself, when am I going to invest in my next level? And that's right, Latoya. People perish for a lack of knowledge. Yes, I live in those books, Michelle, but them books that change your life. And I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm going to jump over here into the Book of the Month Club and get started. I remember growing up, I lived in a little bitty town called Pulaski, Tennessee. Hey, Denise. And I remember the first time I was ever in the newspaper. I was like 11 years old, and I read over 100 books that summer. All I knew was that the winner got their picture in the newspaper. And all I knew is that I never knew anybody. I never knew anybody who had their picture in the newspaper. Hey, Wanza. And it was my goal to have my picture in the newspaper. And I literally, my mom would drop me off at the library on her way to work. And I would read, literally read. I would normally meet one of my little girlfriends up there. And we would read all day and get picked up on her way home. So I say that to say that I really feel like books are one of the reasons that I'm not still in that little bitty town. One of the reasons that I ever realized that I could fly so high was books. Because if you look at history and the people that went before us, most of them flew so low at one point in their life. So don't ever think you're limited by where you are now. There's always something greater in store for you if you can see it and if you can believe it yourself. That's my story with books. That's what books have done for me. And even though I don't have a college degree, They have loaned me an amazing amount of common sense, business acumen, just made me an amazing grammarian, amazing orator. That's why I don't struggle for words like most people are and Well, one of them is a voracious reader like I am. The other ones have their other gifts that they got from their mom. But I just want to help you understand that sometimes, and that's all we had when we were growing up. All we had was it pays to enrich your word power. So, my vocabulary for the most part is stunning. And that's why, because you read what you have to read when you have no other choice. So for those of you who don't read and your finances are not where you feel like they should be or where they could be, I really think if you would just read a book a month, even 12 books a year, will shift your mentality about your ability to be able to generate revenue. Yep. No degree, baby, and was a vice president at Chase. Because let me tell you another thing. For all of you out there running around trying to get degrees, this and that. Now, it's cool if it's needed. If you need to be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer, you definitely have to have a degree. But for the most part in business, most businesses only care that you can do what they need you to do. If you can make the money, the Millionaire Next Door is amazing. If you can make those businesses money, then they don't care. Hey, Dr. Dyson, I got your book on the shelf too. I'm going to have to put it on the Book of the Month Club list. If you can make the money, they don't care. And the same in the regular world. None of my clients ask about my degrees. None of my clients ask about my certification. What my clients ask me is, can you help me generate more revenue? And my answer is yes. And that's the end of the conversation. So I'm going to jump over here to the Book of the Month Club call. I just wanted to give my clients, my mentees, the Cash Crew, Monetize Everything, a heads up that the Book of the Month Club call is about to go down. So I'll see you in just a moment, guys, in the group. Love you guys. Oh, Dr. Dyson, you ain't seen nothing yet. Dr. Dyson, watch this next move. Watch me close these next 30 days. If you want to join, for information on joining, go to bit.ly/thecashcrew. It's about 200 people so far. Our goal is to have it to 1,000. It's an amazing networking opportunity, as well as we put some killer information in there all the time. That's like to me, that's my starter group. That's the people that like, okay, coach, I can't work with you yet, but I want to stay next to you. I want to stay close to you. I don't want to miss anything. I want to be the first to hear about your opportunities. That's the Cash Crew. bit.ly/thecashcrew. Like I said, it's $39 a month, and it's nothing short of amazing. They'll tell you that. So bye, Shannon. See you guys in the Book of the Month Club. See you in just a minute. Love you guys.